Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Now, I welcome you to an agent discussion on the alarming state of America's economy. In this video, a concerned citizen sounds the alarm. If you're not paying attention yet, you really need to start paying attention. The economic situation in America has reached uncharted territory and the consequences are dire. For the first time in history, America's debt surpasses its income, with tax revenue collected from hardworking Americans barely covering the interest on this staggering debt. Now, the warning signs are flashing red. The stock market is overvalued, with the Warren Buffett indicator screaming caution. Companies are clinging to survival as 19% cumulative inflation since 2020 ravages their balance sheets. The average American needs a $12,000 annual raise just to maintain their 2020 lifestyle. Meanwhile, the touted great job market is faltering, with tech giants struggling and banks teetering on the brink of liquidity crisis. Now, the yield curve invasion signals a deep recession looms, and it's time to wake up and take action. So join me as we listen to what this man has to say about America's economy. Take a look at his video. I will be right back.
If you're not paying attention yet, you really need to start paying attention, specifically in America and worldwide. The situation that we're in America right now has never been this type of economy. Now, what I mean by this is we've been in this type of economy of trying to cool down inflation, things go in waves of energy. But here's the caveat, is America is buried in debt. We have more debt than we have income. The amount that we collect in taxes from Americans can barely or can't even pay the interest on the debt. We have an overvalued stock market. Look up the Warren Buffett indicator. We have a ton of companies that are just holding on by a thread due to the 19% cumulative inflation since 2020. The average American needs to make about $12,000 more per year just to have the same lifestyle they did in 2020 versus 2024. The very job markets that they told us were great are starting to falter big time now. Tech companies are really struggling. Banks are on the verge of liquidity crisis due to the bond yields inverting, and now they're re-inverting, which signals a deep recession. And as you guys are all looking this way, all the big money is running this way. And where are they going? Well, Trump's announcing a brand new DeFi financial system that he is creating, and it's blockchain, cryptocurrency. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, created Onyx. JPM coin back in 2017, blockchain, cryptocurrency. Wells Fargo's with R3. Bank of America has Ripple in its patent. And in 2017, they told you crypto's a fraud, and now it is their savior for the financial system. Larry Fink says now Bitcoin is a flight to quality, the largest asset manager in the world. Now they are the largest ETF Bitcoin in the world. They're also the top 3 holders in MicroStrategies, which is the largest holder of Bitcoin in the world. Russia on November 1st is now going to legalize mining. China is getting close to lifting their ban on crypto. Oh yeah, and you know the ETF that BlackRock created, where Jamie Dimon tells you cryptocurrency is a fraud, Bitcoin's rat poison, or he didn't say that. That was, I think, Charlie Munger. But he says Bitcoin is used for money laundering. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase has access to the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. So as we all look this way, as recession looms, high inflation is crushing families, you're trying to survive, the big money is running this way into a new monetary system. And there's never been an opportunity in human history, and there will never be one, once again, for the normal everyday person, Main Street, to get a piece of Wall Street. I'm not telling you what you should do, I'm telling you what I am doing. So since 2020, I've gone all in. I shouldn't say all in. Part of my diversification is speculative, high risk, high return crypto. But I do the opposite of the 99%. I accumulate when everybody's running, and I sell when everybody's coming in. It's just a wave of energy, guys. We've been through recessions, we've been through war times. It goes up, it goes down. But here's what's about to happen, is they're gonna work to lower interest rates to try to cool inflation. They're gonna turn the printing machines already turned back on. M2 money supply started to increase already. They're gonna continue to devalue the dollar. At some point, this all has to correct itself. I believe we'll have a stock market collapse from 2025, in between stock market specifically, 2025 to 2026. You'll see a massive correction, and then we're gonna start to transition back into an asset-backed type of currency. It will be on an even playing field. It'll be regulated by a bag of currencies eventually, where there won't be one dominant currency. It really can't operate that way anymore because of the advent of blockchain, the advent of crypto, money moving at the speed of light. So what I want you to pay attention to is in between October 1st and October 5th, you're probably going to see a massive distraction happen. It's going to get us all to look this way. And that distraction will most likely be a catalyst to move us one step further into this new system. I'll keep you guys updated. So financial literacy is the number one thing you must have right now. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise together. Love you guys. Remember, I will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. I do not invest people's money. We do not have a crypto platform. I'll never ask you about your crypto. I'll never ask you to send me money. What I do have for you is a resource within my bio. So people message me 100 times a day about how I insure my wealth. I bring that up all the time. So what we created is called a needs assessment. Fill out the needs assessment, fill it out properly, and I'll have the proper team member reach out to you based on your needs. It's so important. What are your needs? What do you need? It's not about doing what I do. It's what is best for you and your family. So I have a team that'll help you with a free consultation to break down your needs and can help you with retirement strategies. Love you guys. See you on the inside.
Now, debt is the entire stock of direct government's fixed-term contractual obligations to others outstanding on a particular date. It includes domestic and foreign liabilities such as currency and money deposits, securities other than shares and loans. It is the gross amount of government liabilities reduced by the amount of equity and financial derivatives held by the government. Because debt is a stock rather than a flow, it is measured as of a given date, usually the last day of the fiscal year. Now, US debt to GDP ratio for 2022 was 115.70%, a 4.66% decline from 2021. US debt to GDP ratio for 2021 was 120.36%, a 5.88% decline from 2020. US debt to GDP ratio to 2020 was 126.24%, a 25.44% increase from 2019. And a US debt to GDP ratio for 2019 was 100.81%, a 1.74 increase from 2018. Now, a permanent increase in the inflation rate from 0 to 10% reduces median lifetime spending by 6.82%. Now, this impact is smaller, 4.74% when fiscal COLAs aren't lagged. But the big stories are the progressivity of inflation's increase in net taxation, its age pattern, and its heterogeneity. Now, the 15.9% median lifetime spending loss of the top 1% from 10% inflation is roughly 2.5 times that of the bottom quintile. Middle-aged households are hit far harder because they have more asset income, which with inflation is taxed at a higher effective rate. Now, the 25th percentile of spending changes is a reduction of 9.84%. The 75th percentile change is still a reduction of 4.83%. The maximum spending decline increase across all households is 64.9%, 46.7%. Thus, the distribution of welfare is highly sensitive to significant ongoing inflation. Now, you would assume that high inflation means higher prices for real estate, and that is often the case, at least at the start of a significant spike in inflation. But then things can get complicated. To keep inflation rates under control, the Federal Open Market Committee often steps in and raises the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate charged to banks that use the Federal Reserve Bank as a source of short-term loans. Now, this has a domino effect on every other loan rate, including the rates for home mortgages. As the cost of home loans goes up, many consumers are squeezed out of the market, leading to a slowdown in home sales. With homes on the market for longer periods, sellers drop their asking price to attract buyers. Now, lower interest rates help the U.S. housing market make its recovery after the cut punch of the 2007 to 2008 financial crisis. And then again during the COVID-19 pandemic, higher interest rates have the opposite effect, reducing demand for loans in order to cool down inflation. Now, we all have heard a stark warning from this concerned citizen about America's economic situation, painting a dark picture of crippling national debt, inflation ravaging lifestyles, and an overvalued stock market, and a looming recession. Now, I want to hear from you, my viewers. Do you share his concerns? Do you think America is on the brink of an economic storm? Now, as you ponder these questions, consider the implications. Is the national debt a ticking time bomb? Can inflation be controlled, or will it continue to erode purchasing power? Are the warning signs of recession being ignored? I invite you to share your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree or disagree with the man's assessment? And what steps do you think should be taken to address these economic challenges? How are you preparing for potential economic uncertainty? Your perspective matters, and I want to hear from you. So leave your comments below, share your personal experiences or concerns, and let's talk about this in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.